is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy back again on this Saturday morning with some Let's Talk College Football. So excited to be back with you another Saturday. And you know, I'm never alone. I got my guy. You see him. The maize and blue still has victories over OSU. My guy, you know his name, Alex Lusmore. What up, Alex?
Not too much, man. Excited for another fun day of college football.
Mm-hmm.
Saturdays from the end of August all the way till January are
Yes,
so
yes.
much fun, so enjoyable, and just thankful for another one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's the greatest time of the year. I love every minute of it.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to all of our college football people. And hey, glad y'all are here. Tune in. Hopefully, we'll talk about your team. But if we don't talk about your team, it's either good or bad.
Yeah.
They're that good or they're that bad. And you don't want us talking about them. But look, we got to go ahead and get into it real quick. Definitely one and two. Today is September the 13th. So 2 days ago was the September 11th. So definitely want to just, always remember, never forget all that happened, and especially in this day and age where murder seems to be more on the doorstep and death and all that
Yeah.
stuff. We really hold the ones that you love close, and just hey, never forget, never forget. So we got to get into it. There's been football. My guy alluded to it. There's been football now during the week. Now we're not in November. We're not in Maction. We're not there yet. We're not, but we're getting closer. We are
We're
getting
close.
closer to yes, and I'm so excited for it. Oh man, even though I just looked up the standings in the MAC, and I was like, half these teams are 0-2. But oh, it's going to be interesting. But wait, hey, that's MAC football. I like it. I have no problem with that.
Yep.
Yo, let's get into these Thursday and Friday night recap games. First and foremost, we'll talk about Thursday night, where it was a tale of two halves. NC State ended up winning 34-24 against Wake Forest, but in the first half, Wake Forest jumped out to a first 14-point lead. I think they returned the opening kickoff in that game. NC
I
State ends
believe
up
you're right.
coming
Yeah.
back. Yeah, NC State ends up coming back, and then Wake ends up pulling ahead to 24-14 at the half. And then NC State came out the locker room, and I don't think Wake did. Wake didn't score another point in the rest of the game. NC State comes back and wins this thing. Alex, what were your thoughts about this ACC battle?
Yeah, I mean, I came in and saw that 24-14, and I was just like, okay, NC State's kind of in trouble here. Like, what do we really get from this Wolfpack team? And then, like you said, they came out the second half with their hair on fire.
Yeah.
Scored 17 more points to win the game. And Wake Forest they fell flat.
Yeah.
They're probably wishing they didn't have to go in for halftime because they were on a roll. They were doing very well. Gave NC State the chance to make the adjustments, and they came out flying. So, very tough one for Wake Forest, especially at home. But good teams find ways to win, and NC State did just that.
Oh yeah, and that's why it's a four-quarter game, and that happens. That tends to happen. Teams will be hot for one half, and then go into the locker room, cool down a little bit, and all of a sudden you come out the second half, and you're just completely flat. And I mean, hey, we know how all this is in the ACC. Getting to the point where there's a couple teams up top, and then there's the rest. You cannot afford to lose one of these type games to a very good NC State team. So shout out to NC State getting it done, dominating to the second half. But yeah, Wake look good. They look good for half of football. Let's see if they can, keep it up as the season goes along. Yeah, buddy. All right, moving along to the Friday night games, and there was a bunch. I'm not going to go in any particular order. We can start off in your conference. Indiana, they did what they were supposed to do against Larry Bird's alma mater, the Indiana State Sycamores. They put 73 on them, and this is what was to be expected, right, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the stats for Indiana State, and it shows kind of like it's almost worse than expected. They had 38 total passing yards, 39 total rushing yards. They didn't get 100 yards of total offense, which is extremely rough for a 60-minute game.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, for Indiana, they couldn't do anything wrong. Fernando Mendoza, the starting quarterback, the Cal transferred 19 of 20, 270 yards, and 5 touchdowns. And I'm going to assume it's his brother, Alberto Mendoza. Came in as the second string, 6 of 9 for 104 yards and 2 more touchdowns. And the only other guy to throw a pass went 1 of 1 for 5 yards. So they had 4 total misses, 26 to 30 passing for 7 touchdowns. Kobe Martin, the running back, 11 carries, 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. They did whatever they wanted to, and they should. The caliber of football Indiana is playing right now, this is exactly what they should have done.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And while we'll throw the disclaimer that this is Indiana State, they're not on that level. But at the same time, we've seen teams, Tarleton State, come in and beat bigger name schools. You know what I mean? And play those games. So when you have these type of games, you have to do what you were supposed to do. And you talked about the quarterback play and shoot, even Martin at running back. Indiana ran for over 300 yards on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay. On top of almost 400 yards in the air. That's almost 700 total yards. Hey, they're proving the games that are in front of us, we will get that done, and we will do it convincingly. And I'm expecting them to move up. I know this is still Indiana State, but putting this type of performance on this week, all right, they're here to play.
Yeah.
They're here to play. Undefeated at 3-0, currently at number 22 in the country. Moving right along. Oh, snap. Yo, we had some other ones just shut down on me. Give me 1 second. Ooh. There we go. All right, had some other ones. Syracuse destroys Colgate 66, I believe, to 22. Let me get that on there. This was one a lot of people were looking at. I know I was real big on Fran Brown coming into the season. I was really big on Syracuse. Unfortunately, they lost some early games, but Syracuse, again, another one that you're supposed to win, another one that you're supposed to dominate and do kind of what you did. And what's funny, even before this game, they won a week ago, I believe, 17-10 against, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was UConn. After the game,
right,
after the game, there's footage of Fran Brown with these guys fully padded in the gear running sprints. So the expectation of Syracuse, or at least what he's trying to build, is this isn't unacceptable. We barely beat UConn. We're supposed to be one of these, at least in his mind, he's trying to grow an elite program. So for them to only win by 7, it obviously left an impression on him. So coming into this week, it was 66-24. Coming into this week against the Colgate team, he did what he expected him to do. Now they're 2-1. What are your thoughts about Syracuse going forward?
The big thing for me was they found their passing game again. Steve Angeli, 24 of 32, 417 yards, 5 touchdowns. Yep. That's very similar to what we saw from Kyle McCord on a regular basis last year. Yep. As we're about to start getting into these conference games, like you said in the ACC, you can't really afford to slip up.
Yep.
They need to be firing on all cylinders. I know it's Colgate, but it looks like they're firing on all cylinders heading into conference play.
Oh, yeah. And they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 players catch at least a pass with that 400-plus passing yard game. So they were able to move it around. Obviously, probably some of the backups came in. They got some action in there. But getting that many touches and being able to spread the ball around in this game, doing the things that you were supposed to do. 24 of 32 passing. There's not that many incompletions. You're moving the ball. Good. If we're going to call these a tune-up game, whatever, good. Get back on the right track. And then when you go into that next week, now you're already moving. You know what I mean?
It's big because this could have been a trap game because they're going to Clemson next week.
Yep.
So they could have easily looked ahead. They did not do that. Totally shut down this game. And they're on a roll. Looking forward to Clemson next week.
Oh yeah. And you can tell Fran Brown definitely kind of reset those guys, because after they go to Clemson, they come home and play a very good Duke team. Then they come home and play a good Pitt team that's right now undefeated. and then they go to Georgia Tech the week after, and they play a Georgia Tech team that we all have a lot of
That's a
confidence
rough
in. So
stretch.
exactly. So going into that 2-1, and obviously, we want to see what happens. That Tennessee game was a little rough, but somewhat to be expected. The UConn game, it was 27-20, and they went to overtime. So you
Mhm.
can understand kind of had Fran Brown's like, dude, what? We almost
Yeah.
lost to these guys. So big game, and yeah, it's going to be a gauntlet coming up. So we'll see how Syracuse is able to handle that. Got to go into the next game because my buddy got into a little conversation about this game earlier today. Houston beats Colorado 36-20. I actually had a conversation with our guy Nathan Snell early this morning, talking about, hey, did you see the Deion Sanders press conference? I was like, no, what happened? He was just like, he just looks like he's just shocked, flabbergasted, not really understanding what happened. First and foremost, they put in the backup. Now, where is this
Win the
guy?
first round.
That's what I was about to say. Because when they said that they're putting in, what's his name, Staub?
Yeah, Ryan Staub.
When they said they were putting him in, and I read that they were going to put it, I said, you got Salter, you got the Julian Bond, the rookie.
Yeah.
What did they both suck? Like, why are you bringing in the third string guy? Now he had a couple passes that looked good in this game, and he's mobile. But are you just playing musical chairs with your quarterback? Like, Alex, make it make sense.
I was confused by it too. I mean, all three quarterbacks played last week against Delaware, and he looked good last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess maybe try and look for some juice here and try and change something up, but clearly it did not work. 2 interceptions. When you lose the turnover battle, it's hard to win the game.
Yeah.
And if you listen, I know you said listen to Deion's press conference. If you listen to him at halftime, he called his defense hot garbage at halftime.
Yeah.
During that halftime interview. So when your defense ain't playing to your liking, your quarterback throws 2 interceptions. And I mean, running game was decent, 4 yards per carry, 96 yards. But they need better. And from the talent on this roster, they should be getting better.
Right. And we all expected some kind of a letdown. Travis Hunter, two-way player, last year's Heisman, now playing for Jacksonville. Deion's son, Shedeur, who was their quarterback, now backing up, maybe third string in Cleveland. So we knew there was going to be some sort of a drop off to some degree. And look, I'm not going to. This isn't Colgate, okay? That Colorado played. This Houston team came in this game undefeated. They're now 3-0. Connor Wegman, who we all know, and he's been around in certain places and hasn't had the career that maybe he would have wanted. What's going on? Christopher Cole, good morning to you. He hasn't maybe had the career that he wanted. He has definitely, this was a great game for him. He showed up.
Great running game too.
Yeah, Dan, what's his name? Dean Connors, 89 on the ground, 22 receiving. I mean, a lot of it to that point about their defense, about Colorado's defense, they couldn't tackle anybody. Yeah. I mean, there was one run where you saw Connors go around the corner and get hit and bounce off one guy and it looked like they were just kind of falling off him. Now, shout out to him because he looks like a little bulldozer or whatever, but Colorado was in position. They just weren't, making the plays. And maybe that's what some people were talking about. Maybe they expected more out of the coaching side from Deion. And when you don't have the studs, like you said, we should get more than what we saw.
Mm-hmm.
So it should be interesting going forward. In that Big 12, you're gonna have some problems if you can't stop, and especially if you're struggling on the ground game. But look, we got to move on to another game. A game with a quarterback that we had a lot of attention on in the last couple years. Noah Fifita in Arizona get the win, 23-17. Over K-State, and there's a topic we're gonna bring in a little bit later about if we need to hit the panic button, and I mean I'm gonna go ahead and put that precursor. Let me go ahead and foreshadow because K-State's one of those teams. I did not expect this at all. Obviously, going to Dublin that first week, and Edwards got hurt in the very first punt of the season, and now he's out, or first return of the season, he's out. So they just got him back, but and not downplaying Arizona because I was high on them. K State, I mean, disappointment. I think Ben said that in our comments. Is K State one of the most disappointing teams this season thus far?
Yeah, I would have to think so. Everyone that I saw, well, almost everyone had K-State as their Big 12 champion and their playoff auto bid for the Big 12. And they haven't been able to get out of their own way, offensively especially. I don't know what the deal is, but they can't seem to get it going.
Yeah. And I was huge on Avery Johnson, huge on the things that, his mobility, the fact that he's so electric. Well, 13 and 29, 88 yards. That's not going to cut it for you. That's not going to cut it. He had 11.8 QBR. You know what I mean? What's going on there? They had 100 yards on the ground, but most of that was J.C. Brown's 75-yard run. So, I mean, is Arizona's defense that good? Or is that K-State offense just falling off? I don't know what happened.
I think it's a mix of both, personally, because, I mean, we've seen the K-State offense not be able to get going in any game they've had, and Arizona's defense has looked pretty good for chunks of this season, even though we are still early in the season. It's looked pretty solid in chunks, so I think it's definitely a mix of both.
Yeah. So and look, being 1-3 in the Big 12, you essentially have to win out. And at this point, they might have eliminated themselves from any kind of a championship contention unless there's a whole bunch of chaos in conference.
The one thing they're lucky with is I'm pretty sure that Iowa State game didn't count as a conference game. Yeah. So even though they are 1-3 and it should be 0-2 in the conference, they are only 0-1 in conference play,
which is big. It is right on time. They have to play next week Central Florida. Then they go to Baylor, TCU. We know what they did to us, and then 21st ranked Texas Tech. So just like we talked about, Syracuse going into a conference gauntlet. Same with K-State. So you don't have that much time to fix it, get it together. So I mean, we'll see going forward. But if it is what it is, what it has been, this might be a long season. I mean, it's already been pretty long. You know what I mean? So, and I'm going back and looking that North Dakota game. They should have lost that. They were losing to the very end of that ball game. So we could be talking 0-4 really quickly.
Oh yeah, very easily.
So that's going to be very interesting. And then again, I mentioned it before that we have a segment called "Is It Time to Hit the Panic Button?" And here's another team that will be on that list. UCLA loses another one. This time to New Mexico, 35-10. All right, Alex, I know I'm the one who gives everybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm the one who said, let's just wait and see. Maybe Nico could have success. Maybe, Well, it turns out we don't have Heupel calling it, you know what I mean, on offense. When you don't have those power, those SEC type, athletes around you. Maybe it was them and not you, Nico, because explain this to me. I don't know what to say. I was on UCLA's bandwagon, but it can't just be the roster. Like, is it him?
I mean, he still had a solid game, over 200 yards, a touchdown, did have the interception. I think it's a mix of the overall roster and the coaching staff.
Yeah,
not a good coaching staff they put together, and that's been shown time and time again. The other one thing I will say, this makes me feel a lot better about Michigan because New Mexico were their only loss so far. They beat the brakes off UCLA here. Makes me feel a little bit better about them, although I did think they were a pretty solid team after that game. But UCLA, I mean, they couldn't do anything defensively. offensively, they had the stats, 217 passing, 109 rushing, but they couldn't get into the end zone. That was the biggest issue. They could move the ball, but then they just, when they got time to be right outside scoring range, they just fall flat. So they gotta figure something out here quick. Otherwise, Deshaun Foster is gotta be on the hot seat right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then, we're talking about they're about to get into Big Ten play, and they gave up nearly 300 yards on the ground to New Mexico. You know what I mean? You cannot afford, when you're going up against the Oklahomans, when you're going up against the Michigans, Ohio State, teams that have running games, you cannot afford to sit here and give this up to a team that of caliber of New Mexico State. Now, no doubt, New Mexico State, like you said, only losses to you guys, but to have this type of rushing performance, going into when you're about to go into your Big Ten schedule, not a good look. Not a good look. So. Right, look, we're going to see, obviously, there's going to be a magnifying glass on Nico. All eyes will be on him because of how he left, how the transition happened. And especially, we mentioned that, Georgia versus Tennessee game, if Joey Aguilar is able to somehow get the upset, Nico, I mean, it's going to be like, was it you? They're going to be like, we can get this done now. When we had the 5-star and everything, we weren't able to get it done. Now we're getting done. So it's going to be interesting going forward, Alex. Again, old habits die hard. I'm always going to stick with my guys. UCLA, John Foster. I'm hoping that you guys get success, but it's not looking good, man. I'm not going to lie.
Nope.
I don't know why. Good gracious. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, that was that recap. We talked about those games. So definitely, and get used to it. We're going to start having Wednesday games just around the corner, maybe in October. Then all of a sudden, you start having some Tuesday games and maybe even a Monday. And then at one point, we're going to have a game every single day of the week. And that will be heaven. That will absolutely be heaven. But look, let's go into today. Let's talk about the games we have today. Both of our teams playing, including your team, Michigan, going up against Central Michigan in the Big House. Noon, no head coach. First game of the suspension. How you feeling?
I feel fine. So with this suspension, it's not the same as Jim Harbaugh's. So Sherrone Moore, as of last Saturday, was now no longer allowed in the building for 2 weeks. So right from the top down, it's been Biff Poggi, the associate head coach, is the interim head coach. He spent a few years as the head coach at Charlotte, was a really good high school football coach. He has experience, obviously not to the level of coaching at Michigan, which is why Central Michigan's a good opener for him. They got to figure this offense out. There's too many. The big problem against Oklahoma was you kept everything so condensed that it allowed Venables to hide what he was doing. You gotta allow Bryce to take the training wheels off him, spread it out, let him be able to actually read what's coming, let the offensive line be able to read what's coming, because they couldn't. It was hard to tell who was coming, who was dropping back. There was always 6-7 guys right around the line, so it's so hard to tell. Spread it out, make it easier on these guys, and it should be fine.
Oh yeah, and like I said, I fully expect victory today with the talent that you guys have, and it's going to be eager. I want to see, or it's going to be interesting. I'm eager to see what it looks like with him not being in house, because to your point about when Harbaugh, he can still coach. He just couldn't be there on the game day. Now with this guy not in house, it should be interesting to see. Do the players, just is it clockwork, just keep on? Did they already have a system set in place where they can keep it moving? And I'm fully expecting that. I mean, the way that you guys have been coached for the last several years, the system for the most part stayed the same. So, absolutely. And with us, obviously, there was a lot of overreactions by this guy. I'm still wearing my shirt. I'm still North Carolina through and through. Okay, we came back. Only held Charlotte to only 3 points. Got up on them early. Ended up getting it 20-3 in that game. stark difference from obviously the 48-14 drubbing that we took in week 1, and now this is another one
Yeah.
that we could call a tune-up game. So look, Richmond 1-1, they're not on that level. So what I'm expecting is what we saw from Syracuse, what we saw from Indiana. Maybe not to that level, but still, they went with Gio. I was wrong last week. I thought they were going to switch it to Max, but apparently they still see something in Gio. His mobility is definitely in helping him to move the offense. And I think what we're going to see is similar to what you're saying: spreader route, some spread, some read option. Let's get going early like we did last week and kind of put these guys away by halftime. Don't let them stick around. But I don't think they're at that caliber with us at all. So I really kind of want a 20-point or something similar to what we had before. Shout out to Ben. He's in the comments. Definitely got to get Bryce going today, especially with the big game at Nebraska next week. Yes, absolutely.
Also, can't be looking forward to that game. You got to take care of business today.
Yes. Got to take it 1 week at a time. And you know what? To that very point, that's kind of where I'm sitting, with North Carolina, because you have this game where you're playing Richmond. And then I believe we get into ACC play the following week. Where's my phone shuts down on me? But yes, we're getting an ACC in a couple weeks. Give me 1 second. Who do we play next? With Central Florida. Okay, who's no easy out. Then obviously Clemson. After that, then Cal, who's got that young freshman that should be interesting. UVA, who's shown they've got a little force this year, and then Syracuse, and then maybe a bye with Stanford because of how Stanford's been struggling this season. But this is a game where another one of those get right games. Let's get right and move on, and get ready for going to Central Florida, and then obviously coming home against Clemson. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. Actually, and in between that Clemson game, we have a bye week. So good to get a good rest and then start the rest of that season. But look, what other games are you have your eye today in college football?
I mean, I'm trying to stay away from the top 25 versus top 25 matchups in these because we're going to talk about quite a few of those in our next little segment there. So I picked 3 that are unranked matchups here. I have 1 team ranked in my 6 teams to talk about here. Duke at Tulane. I think that is a very good game. 2 teams that are probably very evenly matched here.
Oh yeah. That's the Darian Mensah revenge game, return game.
Yep. Yeah. So you've got the storylines there. You've got even matchups. I really think this is going to be a fun game to watch. My 1 ranked team, Ole Miss, hosting Arkansas. Both undefeated. Austin Simmons, the Ole Miss quarterback, is a game-time decision today. He spent a few days during practice this week in a boot. His reps did amp up Thursday and Friday, so we'll see if he actually gets to play today. Either way, I think this should be a very close game, a fun game to watch. And my last one, a little Big Ten ACC matchup before the basketball season starts up. Minnesota at Cal. So it's not a traditional ACC team, but Minnesota at Cal. The big thing for me here, Minnesota running back Darius Taylor is not expected to play. So what does that run game look like? He's probably their best player on the Golden Gophers. So what does that offense look like without your number 1 guy? Can you go across the country and make it happen?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. Yeah, no. Cal, we'll be talking about them a little bit later, but that freshman quarterback, the redshirt freshman quarterback, he's proven that they can move the ball with him, and he's really impressed me going forward. Let's see if he can keep it going throughout the season. I'm not even going to try to say his last name.
JKS, that's what I call it.
Yeah, there it is, right? Yeah, I try. I went a couple times. I was like, let me read this. Let me break it down. Nope, JKS. We're just gonna keep it that going. So yeah, no, that's a big one, and I definitely got eyes on that one as well. For me, I'm gonna to your point. I'm gonna stick out of the top 25. First, Rutgers versus Norfolk State. Now, I think Rutgers should win this one handily, shout out to Vic. He got his first victory of the season against my alma mater, Virginia State, another HBCU. So now they're 1-1, and I want to see what he can do. This is a Big Ten team, obviously. Great coaching, but with everybody else in the Big Ten, they're kind of lower on the scale. So do they come in and just run roughshod over it with the talent they have? Can Vic kind of build on his win last week? I'm expecting Rutgers to get the dub, but I'm really eager to see kind of how Vic handles himself in a game like this. You know what I mean? He already knows the attention's on him, so let's see if he can pull that victory out. Another one, staying close to this area, I got to go ODU, Virginia Tech. We're going to talk about Virginia Tech a little bit later. Has not won a game yet. Old Dominion. I don't know. I know you remember this. I think it was 2 years ago, in the season opener, Tech came to ODU and got upset. And they got upset, big upset. And I'm not putting that as one of my upsets today. But if there was an asterisk, if there was an honorable mention, definitely is in this one with ODU. I think I could see something happen. Here we go. Ben said, Minnesota versus California tonight. I'm very much looking forward to the matchup between Rashawn Leonard and Shair Abdul-Rahim. Oh, what?
I think it's basketball.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
I was like, it sounds familiar.
I was like, wait, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. So ODU and VT for me. Another one. This one is, in my opinion, this one is kind of if you're in this rivalry, you understand it. For a while, I didn't, and then I dated Kat for years. Whose parents live in West Virginia, and I really understand it. They hate Pitt, and Pitt hates them. And if you've seen some of these towels that they display in front of kids, talking about eat. Pitt and all that. And it's like, okay, a little bit serious here. A little bit serious. But these games are always good. These rivalries are always tough. How many times throughout history has West Virginia been, one game away from a potential national championship shot, and then Pitt knocks them out, take their undefeated season. So this one's always a big clash. Right now, Pitt is coming in undefeated. Obviously, Holstein at QB. We've seen what's that dude's name? Desmond. Why is it
the running back?
Yeah. Desmond Reed. Baller. He's been going out there. This one, I'm expecting Pitt to play well and get it done, because West Virginia has really laid an egg for me this season. But these rivalry games, you don't know what's going to happen. So it could be up in the air, and who knows if West Virginia can get it done. And then the last one I have is one of the ranked team, but it's more for the quarterback, and we all know who it is. We got our buddy Anthony sending things in the chat about him. Arch Manning, Texas, playing University of Texas El Paso. This should be another one similar to a week ago. Arch should have a stat game and everything like that, but I need to see back-to-back weeks of good performance by Arch. Obviously, unless you start winning big games, you're not going to be able to really outrun that Ohio State game where people are still kind of like, is he really what we expected, X, Y, and Z? Let's see him put these games together and build up as he gets ready for SEC play.
There's an interesting storyline with that game, too. A lot of people forget who the UTEP quarterback is. The other top quarterback recruit from that same class, Malachi Nelson, is the starting quarterback for UTEP.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Two quarterbacks from that recruiting class going mano a mano right against each other.
Oh, I'm all for it. Oh, I want to see that. Oh, yeah. I absolutely am looking to see that one. Oh, man. So, yes, definitely I'm tuned in on that game. I'm, again, expecting Texas to the talent disparity. I'm expecting it to, play in a big hand eventually, but I'm focused on the quarterback playing. Now you talk about Malachi Nelson's in there. I want to see who has a better performance and if Arch can build on this. I mean, obviously we're going to be focused on him all year long for every reason under the sun. Let's see if he can get it done going forward.
I just saw the numbers for both these guys. Ironically, they're essentially identical. so far on the year. I know they've played two different levels of talent, but Malachi Nelson, 36 of 60, 456 yards, 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Ooh.
Arch Manning, 36 of 60, 465 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Oh, snap.
Almost identical numbers.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Okay. All right. Let's see. That's what I'm focused on. Through everything else out, I want to see quarterback play. Now, obviously, Arch ain't going up against that Texas defense. So, that could that might shut down Nelson, but I want to definitely follow that going down the line. Oh man, look, let's go ahead and move on. We talked about it. We got to give in some of our upset picks. We got to shout out our guy Ben Cornett last week, calling it, picking upset for was it Kentucky Ole Miss?
South Florida. That was
South Florida, yes.
Or was it that? Oh, no, the main one he brought up was Mississippi State, Arizona State. That
Arizona was State, yes. Big ups to him for picking that one. And then who did you pick last week? Because you got it upset as well.
I had Michigan, Iowa, and Ohio. Ohio was my big one over West Virginia.
And then I think I picked UNLV over UCLA, which for the most part I think it was like 23-0 for UCLA did anything. So
yeah,
maybe you'll consider an upset.
You got that one in the bag early on.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh okay, we're good. So look, let's go into this week. I will start with my upset picks. Obviously, everybody has it out for the Florida Gators. Everybody is saying they're not going to pull it out. They're not going to win. They're done. Fire Napier. Well, I'm saying shout out to Lee Corso. Not so fast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the game where they get back on everybody's map and they upset LSU, mark it down. Florida, DJ Lagway, Billy Napier back in the SEC, getting that first SEC win. I'm going for it. Alex, what is your first upset pick?
I'm just writing stamping that right there, the Florida upset pick. My first upset for today. Clemson goes to Georgia Tech without 3 big-time starters. Georgia Tech upsets number 12 Clemson. And I think they kind of go back and forth, and then they pull away to win by, like, say, 10 late.
Okay. Oh, I like that. Go GT. Yeah. My second one, Will, you had a Wisconsin shirt on today, so I'm going to assume you're voting for Wisconsin instead of the state that you're in, because I don't know if you guys have seen, but my boy Diego Pavia has been popping off in the mouth again, saying, "Yo, F."
The whole team has been popping off.
Right.
Yeah.
So look, one of two things going to happen: either they're going to get put in their place, or they are really going to rally around Pavia and they're going to show up. And I'm expecting the latter. I'm expecting Vandy to come in here, get that upset, and really kind of show people, hey, the talk is the talk, but hey, we're here. Yo, shout out to my guy Jared, Knowles fan. Yes, are they back, Jared? Talk to me. Are you guys back yet? Oh man, yo. So yeah, that is where I'm at. I got Vandy getting the upset and potentially getting ranked after this game. Who else you got?
So I got one more here. Also going to the SEC. Also stirring the pot a little bit here. Tennessee upsets Georgia.
Woo!
College game day is at Rocky Top, where we said the whole. Was it Nico? Was it? Is Joey Aguilar maybe the guy for them? I think he fits the offense better than Nico did. I've been on record multiple times saying I do not have faith in Gunnar Stockton. I think this moment might just be a little too big for him. Tennessee pulls off the upset.
Woof. Hey, there it is. I know some of our Georgia boys might not like that, but hey, it's time now to put up or shut up. SEC play. You don't have Austin P anymore. Okay, you don't have
I mean, it
Marshall
looked
that
great
lost
against
their whole
Austin P, so that's
right,
making me feel better for Tennessee.
right. You got saved by the weather that made them colder than they were, and then you guys were able to come back. Look, honestly, this game is one that I am very, very interested to see because we've seen them in years past, and I've voted for Tennessee in years past in this game, and Tennessee has always lost. They've always come up short. But now, to Will's point, who said this a couple weeks ago, there's not really anybody out there on Georgia that you're like that guy. They gotta get that guy like Brock Bowers or like
Yeah.
all of the guys on
Ladd or
defense.
Pickens or Carter
Right,
or Davis or like Nolan Smith or
right.
Kobe
So
Dean.
right. I mean, all these guys that are playing in the league right now, Jalen
And they were all
Carter.
on the same freaking team.
Exactly. So of course they were able to win. But this is what I want to see. Who is going to stand out? Who is going to, show, okay, this is Georgia football. We're here. We know Kirby's good with adjustments. We know he could, really get those boys fired up. But let's see who is able to really get it done. And I got one more upset since Alec is in the comments. One more, Alec. I ain't gonna do it to you, Alec. I'm not gonna do it because ain't no way Northwestern's getting that upset. I already told Alec Northwestern's gonna lose by 38. So come on.
By more than that.
Yeah, right. I was about to say with what they did to OK State. Yeah, this game. Now this game will.
50.
This game's gonna be in the and not in Outson. It's gonna be in like the stadium near the water, isn't it?
Well, so they're at Northwestern today.
Oh, they're out there, but that stadium's by the water. What are the stadium? I heard that it was gonna be by. They're 12,000 seat stadium by the water.
Yeah, they're right on the water while they're still building the other stadium. So, right out on the water there. Okay. That's a nice looking area for a football field.
Oh, absolutely. And you see, there's only like 12,200 seats. So they're gonna try to make sure that none of the Oregon fans can get there.
Yeah, Oregon's gonna feel like their practice stadium. Like,
oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. In fact, I think their practice stadium is probably much bigger than that. I mean, probably, good gracious. Oh man, yeah, they got that good money. All right, look. So we got one more thing we want to talk about. Well, actually, what do you think, Alex? Because it's 12 o'clock. Your game just started. You want to push this back to Tuesday?
I was going to say, do we want to push it to Tuesday and then see if there's additions or subtractions to the list?
Yes, absolutely. So, look, we got – stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to head out of here. Stay tuned for the this coming Tuesday, where we will have our guys Will Kramer and Eric Kelly back on because there's topics that I know they brought up. There's topics that we want to talk about. And one of them is it time to hit the panic button. Start thinking – of some teams that you think maybe are about to, they need to reset or it's time for them to say, hey, maybe you need to look to next year or whatever. We have a couple teams on our mind, but to my guy's point, I think we want to take a look and see what happens today because if today goes the way that we kind of think it could go, some of these teams might really need to hit that panic button.
And some might be totally okay.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely interested to see. And then also we're going to bring back another segment that we like, Show Me Something, and maybe even a little overreaction or reality because, a lot of people were really excited about some overreactions that we had. But look, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys hopping in here, joining us. Let's talk college football. We got to get out of here. There's a number of games coming on right now, including my guy seeing his Wolverines go up against the Chippewas. And I mean, I know it's in the big house, and I've been to both stadiums. Chippewas don't have that bad of. I mean, it's a really nice stadium.
I mean, especially when you compare what a lot of the Power 4 schools have to what the group of now 6 has. CMU's got a nice stadium.
Oh, yeah. So definitely good luck to all the teams playing. CMU is going to need it because I can see them today. But look, we got to head out of here. For my guy, Mr. Alex Loosemore, it is your boy, Sean Spencer. College Football Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the day. We'll see you on Tuesday. Hey, take care. Hey, oh, yeah. Washington's not playing. We're not playing until the following week. So thank God. Because we got
we got it last week from them too. So
yeah, they're a good team. I'll give them that. They're a good team.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, we're out here, people. We'll see y'all next time.